Hello all, this is Nisha Sonone. Today I am going to show how we need to extract the data with the help of the document understanding, specifically the signature out of the documents. Okay, so before wasting much of the time, we will quickly start with the actual implementation of the solution. You can see here I have created the folder DO signature extraction, and inside that I am having two folders. One is the input data set where I am having the input documents that we are going to work with. Okay, and then there is a extracted signature. This is the output folder. Here we are going to keep our extracted signatures from this document, and this is the Excel file where we are going to keep the all other extracted data. So I have by default created the columns like pair name, date, amount, account number, and so on. Okay, so all these fields we are going to extract it. All right. And yes, I have also created a one blank flow where I have downloaded the few packages just to save our time. So the packages that will be required for this are the OCR, intelligent OCR activities, the OCR activities, UI automation activities, which will enable the taxonomy manager for the document understanding, and some image based activities which will be using to for the processing of the image that we are going to extract. Okay, just to remove the noise and all right, so we will quickly start with defining the taxonomy. So taxonomy is the initial step where we have to define what kind of a document we are going to work with and what are the fields of that document. Okay, so we will be quickly starting with creating taxonomy. Okay, so I'll be clicking on this taxonomy manager. It will launch the taxonomy manager. Okay, here we can define the group. So we are working with the check, so the group we can define it as a financial. Okay, inside that we can create the category. So this is the incoming type of category, as this is our input data set, and then inside this we can define a particular document type. As we are working specifically with the check, so we will define it as a check document type. We can define multiple document type for single project of the DU. We can have invoices, receipts, and all other document types. Right now we are just going to work with the check checks or check document type. Also, note one thing, there is a specific document ID is created. So this will vary per each per document. Okay. So as we are having single document, so here is the document ID. So we need to define the fields that we need to extract out of this document understanding. So as we have defined the fields in our Excel file, like the pay name, account, amount, the signature, check number, reference numbers, we are quickly going to design the same with our taxonomy. I will just quickly create the field names. It will be of text type. Okay. The account number, again it will be of text type. Date field, here it will be of date type. And also we can define the format of the date, where in which format we want to extract the date. So if you see our input data set, each check is having a date in a particular format, DDMMYY. So we will also define the same date format in our taxonomy manager, uh, like this. Okay, all right, we will quickly create the remaining field. Okay, check number, reference number, then there is a amount, and then the important field, that is the signature. So no, there is no typical type defined for the signature type of field. For now, we are going to set it as a boolean field so that it will represent the value whether signature is present or not in our extracted Excel data sheet. Okay, alright. So this way we have created our taxonomy, a representation of the document type and its respective fields. Okay, we will close this. We can also close this Excel file and the image. Alright. So the taxonomy is defined, but now how we are going to use this taxonomy within our flow? So we can use the load taxonomy activity. This will allow us, or this will fetch the taxonomy file, which is nothing but the JSON file, and which do gets created into the project folder inside the default folder location of document processing. You can see here, this is the taxonomy file which we just created a minute before. Okay, so we are this load taxonomy activity will fetch this taxonomy file. We just need to provide the output variable where we are going to save this taxonomy. So I'm just creating the field, a variable where we are going to save this taxonomy. So this is our variable. Okay, also there are few variables which I have created initially, as I'm not using any config file. This is just for the demo purpose. I have given the input folder path and the extracted signature folder path where we are going to keep our output signature. Okay, and this is the variable that we have created just. All right, after loading the taxonomy, the next step is the digitization, where we have to digitize the document, and it will give us the document object model and the document text. The document object model is nothing but what the data about the data, the metadata. So we need to pass the document path. All right. Here one more thing, as we are going to work with multiple files, so we need to implement these activities inside the for each loop. As this is the demo purpose, so I am simply using the for each loop, for each file in folder. But in actual use cases, we should use the queues, as those will be better to handle the exceptions or to update the status and everything. Okay, so we can define for each current file in the folder. We have already created input variable, input folder. So we can pass that input variable, input folder. So for each current file in this folder, we need to perform the digitization. So the document path is, we will use this current file index dot full name. This will give us the full file path. Okay. As the output, we will be getting the document text. Okay, and then document DOM, data object model. Okay, so this digitization by default comes up with the OCR activity. We can use the OCR activities whichever is suitable as per our business need and whichever is giving us the reliable data. By default, here we are going to go ahead with the UiPath OCR activity only. You can see the API key is already fetched here, as I'm already connected to my orchestrator, so it will be coming from there. If it is not coming for your case, you can get it from the orchestrator. Inside the admin, there is a document understanding section, and there this API key is noted. Endpoint, we can get this endpoint from the UiPath. We just have to search for UiPath document understanding uh, endpoint. So these endpoints do vary with respect to the extractor we are using, with respect to the classifier we are using. So this is the first link that we have to refer, UiPath document understanding endpoint. They have given all the public endpoints. So as we are using the OCR activity, we are going to go ahead with this one. We can simply copy this URL, can close this, and here we can pass it. Okay, so we have defined the endpoint and the digitization step. So this will digitize the document and it will give us the output as a document text and DOM model, which we will be using further for the further activities. Now after digitization, there is the classification stage. However, we are only working with one type of the document, so we are not going to classify it. There is no need to specifically classify it. We will be straight away going for the extraction step. For the extraction, we have to use the data extraction scope, this activity. Okay. As usual, we will be passing some input. We need to perform the extraction for the current file. Okay. This is the file, the document text that we got out of the digitization, the document object model, the taxonomy. So these are the our default inputs. Now classification, as we are not using the classification stage, we will be clipping this as a blank. But instead of that, we have to provide the document type ID, like which document we need to extract the data from. And this document type ID, if you remember, uh, we will get it from the taxonomy. Okay, where we have defined the document type. So this is our document type, and here is the unique document type ID. We have just copied it from here, and then We will be passing it here. Alright. And then we have to provide the output variable where it will be saving the extraction result. So as this is the auto generated extraction out of this activity, we will name it as a auto extraction result. Okay, this is also fine. Here we have to define the type of the extractor that we are going to use. Here we can see there are two type of extractors available, form based and the regular expression based extractor. So with the basics of the document understanding, it is mentioned for structure based document we should go for the form extractor. Okay, and we can see that our document is very structure based. It is having a similar structure with each field defined properly, like pay, rupees, account number, date, um, bearer, and this is similar for each and every document. So it's a pretty well structure based document. So we will be going ahead for the form based extractor. As discussed earlier, the endpoint is already available here by default with this activity. This is the endpoint of the form extractor. API key is again getting from the my orchestrator. Here we have to manage the template. We have to provide a template to the bot so that bot can understand what kind of a document or type of document they are working with. Here we have to select the document type as a check. Template name, we can give any default name to our template, that this is the check template. Okay, the OCR engine is default one what we are using. Endpoint and API key again are fetching automatically. If not, then we know how to get it. Okay, then we have to provide a sample file so that bot can understand what fields are required and from where to get the all these fields. So we can pick the sample file from our input data set. Okay, we will be just loading it. It will digitize that document and it will open that document, and we can define the fields that needs to be extracted. Okay, we have to click onto the configure, and then it will process the document. So it will load the new window like this with some instructions to be followed, like how we can extract the fields, how we can define the fields and all. Okay, all right. So this is the document that we have browsed, and here we are going to define the set. Let me just maximize it. So the first field, we can see the document type is by default fetched here from the taxonomy only, as we are passing some input variables. Then the page one matching info. So we have to define specifically like what could be a start of the page and how the bot should understand that this is the page of the document. Sometimes there are the multi-page documents. So in this case, it will help. So we will define the few fields which are going to be a common for each check. Like I can see the bank name, the pay, rupee. These are the keywords that we can define. So I'm just selecting the few keywords. Note I'm using the control key here to select the multiple fields. Okay. We can so ideally there has to be 5 fields defined. So we have given 5 plus fields. Okay. All right. Then pay name. Um, so we can see there is a huge area given for the pay name, and it can be the pay name can be listed anywhere inside this area. So we are not just going to select this area, but we are going to select the whole area, so that if any name starts from here, it will be able to fetch the value. So we will be selecting the area like this. We are going to click on the custom area, and we will be clicking on the plus icon inside this pay name. Okay, so this is how this pay name is defined now. Similarly, we will define all other fields as well very quickly. So account number, I'm going to select this whole portion. Again custom area, account number, then there is a date. I'm going to select this. Okay, it is not selecting it. I'm going to select this custom area, date. Okay, then there is a check number. So this is our check number. We can zoom the document just for the better result. Okay, so check number, we can select this area, correct, custom area. You can see and this is our check number. Then there has to be a reference number. This is what we are selecting as a reference number, custom area. This is our reference number. Then there is amount field. Here is the amount field. Again custom area. Select the amount. Okay, signature. This is the signature portion. We can select a little extra area just to make sure that every signature which comes in a picture can match here. Custom area. This is the signature. Alright, so this is how we have defined the document. We will be clicking on submit button. Okay, remember one more thing, as this is specifically with the signature and we know that there is going to be a signature field, we have to define which field is going to be a signature field. Here we can, these fields are nothing but from our taxonomy, and we can say it that this field will be our signature field. Okay, and then close this. So this is how we have set up the template. Now we have to configure the extractor. So what does this mean? So as you can see that we can add multiple extractor over here. Okay, for the extraction scope. There could be a file along with the check which is not having that structure format, and the form based extractor won't be useful in that case. So for that case, maybe we can have multiple keywords. On the basis of that we can extract the data. So regular expression based extractor is useful in that case. So configure extractor will allow us to define which extractor do we need to use for which type of document. Okay, so right now as we are having a single extractor, we just have to select that for this check type of document. So if there is another document, we can select a regular expression extractor tick mark for that kind of document or other document. Also, as we select this checkbox, so this extractor is applied to all the fields inside this document. I will just quickly save it, and this is how we are done with the extraction scope as well. This will help us to extract the data, and the result will be saved into this variable auto extraction result. Now we have to use the present validation station in case we need to validate the data what we are fetching. So this will runtime launch the validation station window where we can see the fields and its value, along with the details like what is extracted for which field. Okay, again we'll be passing some basic inputs required for each activity. Okay, the document text, the document object model, the taxonomy. Okay, the automatic extraction result which we got from the extraction activity is the auto extraction result. And now this will be the validated extraction result. So it will give us the validated extraction result, validated by human being. So we will rename it as we will save it as a validated extraction result. Okay, we have created this variable. All right. We can quickly have a run to see how it is extracting data and how it is validating it. Let me just quickly run it. um, okay, so for first few or initial runs it may take some time to perform and execute all these steps. I will just show for one of the document how it gets done, and then we will quickly move ahead for the further documents or the further processing. So let's wait for the first document to digitize, to extract the data, and then finally present the validation station. Okay, so alright. So whatever fields we have defined like name, date, or the amount, signature, all those things are extracted. We can simply compare them, validate them. So uh, the name is fetched, we can validate it. Account number is there, okay, which is correct. Date is correct, okay, and also note that it is as per the format that we have defined, day, month, and year. Okay, we can validate this as well. Then we can see the check number. So I can see that there are extra codes are also considered. So we can validate it this way. We can remove the extra and we can then check mark. And now this is 100% validated. The reference number, I can see there are two extra fields again. We now see the confidence level is 92%. After the validation it will be 100% and the status is changed to the validated. Amount is there, I can see there is this extra sign which maybe we can remove. Okay, and signature is also present, which we can see this is the signature. All right, so this is how we are going to validate the documents. So I'm just going to stop the flow now. This will be done for each and every document as we are running it into the for each loop. Okay, all right, so data extraction part is done. Now what we need to do further, we need to write this data inside the excel sheet. So okay, we before writing it to the excel sheet we need to export it into the suitable format so that we can write it into the excel. So the next activity that we are going to use is the export extraction result. Simply we have to pass the extraction result that we got from the validation station. We validated data, we are going to pass for the export. So we'll be passing this validated extraction result and we'll be creating one data set. We can name it as extracted data set. Simple. Done. So this is how we have exported our data. Now to write it into the Excel, we are going to use the append Excel scope append range workbook activity where we can simply pass the workbook name, sheet name and everything. Okay, so I haven't defined the Excel path. We will quickly define it. Okay, Excel path. We'll be passing our output Excel sheet. Okay, we'll be using that variable over here. Correct. Sheet name is the default one, sheet one, data table. Now, this is the data set, basically a collection of data tables. So we cannot pass this data set as it is. We have to fetch the table from this data set. So there are multiple tables inside this data set. So for that we will be using the for each activity. Okay, to convert this data set into the table. So to point each table from the data set, we will just rename this instead of current item. We will rename it as a current table. Easy to understand or easy to refer. So we are going to pass it for the extracted data set. So for each table from this data set, okay, this is what we need to define. What we need to do, we need to append the range. Okay, and here we can pass the current table. So here we also pass the dot tables. Okay, so for each tables from this data set, and this is the unit for each, we need to write this unit to the Excel path. Okay, and also as this is the for each activity, we need to define the type of the argument. Okay, so type of the argument is object currently, no, but we are referring it as a table, so we have to define it as of type table only. So system.data.table, and now we can see that there are no errors. Alright, so we are fetching one table at a time and we are appending it to the Excel. Okay, so this is done. We can save it. Now further, there is one more thing that we need to save in advance, which we will be using further, and that is nothing but what? The pair name. Okay, so that we will be getting from extracted data set. Okay, so sorry, that we will be getting from current item. Okay, we have to use it here, the current table. Okay, so current table will be having all the fields that we have defined in the taxonomy. The pay, where is the Excel sheet? The pay name, account, amount, then the check number, reference number. So that is what the contents of the current table is. Okay, and we need the pay number. So what will be passing? Dot rows 0 and the columns 0. So what does this mean? That we are fetching the first row of this current table and saving it as a control K str pay name, so that we can use this pay name further when we are going to save our signature. So we can identify which signature belongs to whom. Okay, so this is the one extra step we have completed here. All right, now data is loaded. Further, to load the signature, we will be creating a new sequence just to segregate the flow, and we can name it as the export signature. Okay. All right, so we got all other data like pay name, account number, amount, and etc. from this extracted data set, which is coming through this validated extraction result. Now we need to focus on one of these field of this validated extraction result, and that is nothing but what? Signature. So to get the signature field, we need to fetch it, and that can be fetched something like this with the validated extraction results dot result document. So whatever we got as a result, out of that there are several fields. Okay, and we need to work with the signature field only, which we can define with the where conditions, something like this, where. Okay, and to match that signature field, we have to define the function, let's say of f. Okay, where f dot field name or field id, we can match to the field id, is equals to the field id of signature field. And from where we will be getting that id? From the taxonomy again, the way we have fetched the document id. Okay, so this is our field, signature field. Okay, and we need to copy this id, copied. Okay, signature id is copied, and then we can save it here, financial incoming checks dot signature of first. So as we are defining functions, we have to define first. Okay, so what we did, we need the same way we have fetched the other data which is coming in the data set format, but signature is not coming as a image of the signature is not coming, it is coming as a boolean format, yes or no, but we need actual signature. So we are specifically fetching that field with the help of this data that we got after the extraction, which is validated to the result document. Out of its result document, there are several fields, and we are defining a specific condition which field we want, and we want the signature field. Okay, we are going to save it into the variable name as a signature field. Now remember, we have to define, this is not ordinary variable. We have to define it as a type of the result document. As we can see that it's a result document and there is one of the field out of this result document. So we need to define the type of this variable as result document data point. So how we are going to fetch that? We just have to write UiPath dot document understanding, document processing, and inside the contracts and result we can see results. There we can see the data point. So this is one of the data point or field, we can say. This is how we are going to define it. Okay, export signature. We can just, okay, we have just changed its scope to the all. Now this field is done. We got the signature field, which field is storing the data for the signature. Now we need one more information of this field, like what are the boundaries of this signature field, where this signature is existing. Okay, so for that we need a rectangular portion or box of that field. So we'll be applying our further conditions on this field, and we'll be defining it as a signature field dot values. We need the values of it. Okay, so there are certain references inside it. Okay, values of 0. So whatever the first value we are getting, so there are several set of values defined for the signature field, which are raw attributes. Some of them will be useful. Out of the references we need certain tokens. Okay, again there are certain set of tokens, so we'll be going to fetch the very first of the tokens, and then there is a boxes we can see. Okay, so these boxes is nothing but what the scale, the actual area where the signature resides. Okay, a rectangular area. If I represent with one of the document, so first of all we fetch this signature field, whole field. Now this field is having several attributes like name, the size, the background text or alt text, and lots of other properties there could be. um, and out of this we need to fetch a particular this box or rectangular area where the signature resides. So this is how we are defining it. Out of this field we need this portion of the signature only. Okay, I'll be closing this, and this is we are going to save inside the variable, let's say signature box. Okay, okay, again we have to define the type of this signature box as the box type of variable. Again the same way we will search for document understanding, document processing. Now this is the contracts, and inside there is a box. Okay, this is how we have defined the data type. Okay, we can save it. Now okay, again we have to define the first box here, you can see. Got it. Hmm. Now we first of all we fetch the particular field with the where condition, where we have passed it id of that field from the taxonomy. Then we fetch the one of the object or one of the property set, which is nothing but what box, that those are nothing but what the scale that we are going to use to fetch that particular portion from that document or from that check. Now how to fetch that? So for this we are going to use the invoke code activity. Okay, so here first of all we will be defining the arguments. So our target is to fetch a particular portion or that box from that check document. So first of all, the very first thing will be required is the validation extraction result, because that there it is having everything. Or we will be just needing the image from where we want to fetch that box. So for that, we first of all need to take the image. So we'll be using the load image activity. Okay, we will be passing the file name, which file we want, full name. So what we are doing here, we are loading this check, the check that we are working with, as an image. Okay, we will be storing the output variable as a check image. Okay, spelling, let me correct it. Okay, and then we can change the scope as well. All right. So what we did, we have just loaded the original check into image. We will be passing this image then in check image. Okay, and we'll be passing this check image. And of course, the data type has to be image because this is the image. Okay, from this image, what we need to fetch? We need to fetch that particular box, signature box. So again, the input should be of box, and we'll be passing signature box where we are having the scaling for this box. And then there is going to be one output variable which will be giving us the extracted signature. That is our outcome or the requirement what we want. This will be again of the type signature. This is where exactly we'll be getting the output signature. We'll be storing it as a extracted signature. Okay, so these three arguments will be needing or will be using the image, then the crop area or the particular box that we want to crop, and that is nothing but what our extracted signature which will be passing out. Okay, now edit code. Okay, so our core image is nothing but what, check image. Let's say first of all define out extracted image, right? This was our output argument. This will be equal to in uh, check image dot simple crop. So from this image we are going to crop a particular box area. So box area, it's nothing but what, new rectangle. Okay, and here for this new rectangle I need to pass the four inputs. Okay, height, width, and everything. So those I'll be getting from the box only. So our variable is in signature box dot left. So first of all we are going to define left as a parameter. Also note, we need to convert this to the integer. So we'll be passing one more bracket here and then one more bracket here. So what we did, uh, this is our output image, this is our input image. We are going to crop a rectangular area on this simple image onto this our input image. And what will be that rectangular area? So this will be it. uh, this will be a left parameter. I'll be simply copying this for all remaining three parameters of the rectangle. Left is done. Now there is going to be a top. Okay, then there is going to be width, and there is going to be the height. Okay, that's it. So these are the four parameters of the box what we need to fetch. Those will be coming from the box, and that's why we have fetched the box value of the signature field. And we are going to apply this rectangle with the crop functionality onto our input image, which will be giving us the output image. So this is our code. We will be just saving it. Um, okay, there is one more extra bracket it's required at the end. Okay, all right. Then this is our extracted signature. Now we have to save it to our extraction folder. Out extracted image is not defined. What is our out extracted signature? It's not okay. It's not image. It's a signature. So whatever argument we have defined, extracted signature. Okay, is this done now? Okay, all right. And we are saving this output argument into variable extracted signature. Okay. Now what we need to do, we have to, now we got this image into the variable extracted signature, extracted image, extracted signature variable. We have to save it into our output folder, extracted signature folder, this folder. Okay, so for that, what we'll be doing, we'll be using the image, yeah, image activity, image contrast activity is what we are going to use. So it will allow us to save it at particular location along with removing the extra noise or just clearing the background of the image so that the signature will be visible properly and accurate. Okay, so what is the image object? The image object is nothing but what? Extracted signature, correct? The contrast factor should be 100% or 100. And where we need to save this? So we need to save this to our output variable which we have defined str extracted signature folder. So here we are going to pass str extracted signature folder plus um, we are going to save it with the pair name what we have saved earlier. If you remember that we have saved the pair name so that we can save our uh, file with that. And I guess we need to change the scope. So here we have saved the pair name. Alright, we have changed the scope. Now we can use it here. str pair name. Along with that, we need to give the .jpg extension. So this extracted image after applying the contrast filter will get saved to the location. This is the location what we have given. Slash is like inside this folder and the name of this file that .jpg. So this is how our signature will get saved. Okay, all right. So this is how we are done with extraction of the data, then exporting that data to the Excel file and then exporting the signature specifically uh, to the given folder location. Now we will just quickly run our flow and we'll see what result we are getting. So I'm just clicking on run. Now this time we have to wait until it fully gets validated and fully run so that we can see the output result. Okay, so we got the first document over here, document type as a check, the name is correct. We will just quickly submitting the results what we are getting. Signature, okay, this is the signature, submit. Again we got the next document, same, validating it as quickly as possibly. Okay, maybe just correcting few data if there is certain other fields. Okay, signature, and then submitting. Again, now there is one more file left. After validation, we'll be getting the final result. And here is our final document, and we can see the names and everything, uh, the account number, the date as per the given format, is everything extracted, the check number. Okay, there is extra sign here, which we can simply remove it and then validate it. The amount is there, and the final field, which is signature. So now we have submitted this. Okay, and here our execution is also completed. Now we will be seeing the output folders. First of all, let's have a look at the extracted data file. It's having all data or not. Okay, so it is having the data. You can see the signature field is given with the boolean format, yes or no. Why we are getting the multiple entry for each record is that the data set is having multiple tables. The one table is the raw data table, the other table is the formatted data table, and that's why the every entry is having twice. Here you can see the difference between raw table and the formatted data table. Okay, yeah, this is the fine. So that's why we got the multiple rows. Okay, we can simply pass the formatted table if just to print it once. Okay, now this is fine. uh, the extracted signature, and here we go. Here we got the signature out of all three documents. This belongs to the Shiva Kumar, and the contrast is nothing but what this is. We are getting the proper actual signature. It removes all the background color and everything. This is the second signature, this is the third signature. So we will just compare the Shiva Kumar signature from our input data set. So no, this is not the Shiva Kumar. This is also not the Shiva Kumar. Alright, so this is the Shiva Kumar, and here is the signature. And the signature what we got. So all these three signatures are more or less same, but yeah, still we can see that yes, this is the exact signature that we got. So this is how we can fetch the signature along with the other data with the help of document understanding. Thank you so much.